A 74-year-old woman lost her entire retirement fund and still had to pay alimony to the man who left her. You think that could never happen to you? I understand. Eleanor thought the same. She was a strong woman, owned her home, had a stable pension, lived a quiet, respectable life for over 40 years. But after her husband passed away, the afternoons grew longer, the kitchen colder, the dinners quieter. It wasn't weakness. It was simply that she missed having someone's hand to hold, someone to talk to, someone to remind her that she still mattered. Then Harold came along, charming, polite, attentive. But by the time Eleanor realized she'd become nothing more than a walking bank account, it was already too late. Here's what you need to know. Love after 60 can still be beautiful. But if you're not careful, it can destroy everything you spent your entire life building. Stay with me until the end of this video. I'll show you the small but powerful signs that could protect you from Eleanor's fate. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to the channel. Let's grow old together, with wisdom, not regret. Now, let's get into the first insight. 1. Evenly yoked. The power of a balanced relationship. Ever heard the phrase evenly yoked? It comes from an old farming image. Two oxen pulling a heavy yoke. If one is weaker, the other has to carry more. And over time, even the strong one collapses. Relationships after 60 are the same. You've built a life, your own home, financial security, daily routines, emotional strength after years of storms. But is your partner entering the relationship from the same place of stability? Are they living independently or looking for someone to shoulder their burdens? Do they value what you've built? Or are they leaning more than they should? Love is about sharing. But if you're always the one giving, always covering the bills, always carrying the weight, that's not love, that's imbalance. I once met Margaret, 69 years old, retired teacher of nearly 40 years. She met Frank, a 71-year-old man on minimal Social Security, drowning in debt. At first, she helped with a few bills, but slowly, helping turned into shouldering everything. 2 years later, Margaret had to sell her home and move into a small apartment. So here's the question. Is the person you love walking beside you, or are you dragging them along? If this hits close to home, leave a comment below. And if this video matters to you, click like and share it with someone you care about. Let's spread this message far and wide. 2. The emotional trap. When loneliness blurs your vision. Loneliness doesn't scream. It wears you down with quiet. Do you ever feel like your house is getting bigger, but your heart emptier? No one nagging about dinner being late. No one asking, "Where were you?" Just the clatter of the kitchen, the TV humming for background noise, and that one empty chair. After 60, loneliness doesn't come from lacking family. It comes from lacking someone to share life with. You want a real conversation, a caring glance, someone who sees you. And that's the moment you're most vulnerable. Edward was 73, a kind man who lost his wife after 45 years. He joined a local choir, hoping music would lift his spirits again. That's where he met Diane, warm, thoughtful, called every night, invited him to concerts. But just a few months in, she started asking for money, first for rent, then for car repairs. By the time Edward realized what was happening, he had lost nearly $20,000 and a chunk of his trust in people. Have you ever experienced something like this? Comment 1 if you've ever felt so lonely you just wished someone, anyone, would call. If you've ever felt like Edward, stay with me. Because next, I'll show you the subtle signs emotional scammers use to get close, before they take everything. 5 red flags. That someone's after your money, not your heart. They don't come because they love you. They come because they smell security. You'll never see a scammer in a shirt labeled "Warning Liar." They're not rude. They don't threaten. In fact, they're often more polite, more attentive than your late spouse ever was. And that's exactly what makes them dangerous. Here are 5 early warning signs you should never ignore. Love bombing. They call you their soulmate within days. Text constantly. Show up with roses and gifts. It's not romance. It's a strategy to make you fall fast and deep. Too perfect to be true. They love everything you love. Your favorite music? Theirs too. That Alaska cruise? It's been their dream forever. No, they're mirroring you to gain your trust. Rushing commitment. Talking marriage after a few months. Wanting to move in? Open a joint account? Real love takes time. Scams move fast. Bringing up money early first. It's just a small loan. Then it's an emergency. Then it's helping their relative. The more you give, the more they ask. No financial independence, no house, no savings, no plan. They're not walking beside you, they're riding on your back. Ever met someone like this? Comment 2 if you've ever come close to falling for someone too good to be true. Coming up next, I'll walk you through simple rules that can protect not just your heart, but also your bank account. 6 rules to protect yourself when dating after 60. You spent your whole life building peace. Don't let someone steal it, just because you wanted to be heard. Love doesn't have to be feared, but after all you've been through, you deserve to love with your eyes wide open. Here are 6 must-follow rules for anyone dating after 60. Vet their background. Ask about their past. Jobs, family, financial situation. If they avoid answering, that's a red flag. Keep your finances separate. No joint accounts, no loans. Don't pay their bills, especially early on. If you've ever lent money too soon, comment 3. Listen to your loved ones. Your kids and close friends often see what you're too emotionally close to notice. Take it slow. Real love is never in a rush. If someone pushes you for commitment early, step back and reevaluate. Seek legal advice before remarriage. Don't be afraid to talk to a lawyer or sign a prenup. It's not a lack of trust. It's protection for everything you've worked so hard to build. Pay your own way, meals, trips, gifts. If they're uncomfortable with that, you have your answer. If you agree that love should come with both feeling and clarity, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, you're not alone. Many others have been hurt, but they've also learned how to love again, better and wiser. You can too. 5. How to heal after being hurt in love later in life. Loving the wrong person after 60 hurts deeper, not just because of the money, but because of the trust you gave so fully. You can rebuild a house, but rebuilding trust, especially after someone takes advantage of your kindness, is one of life's hardest tasks. Helen is living proof. She lost her husband of 35 years. Then she met Victor, a charming man who made her feel seen again. But he also emptied her savings. She felt ashamed, angry at herself, and certain she'd never trust anyone again. But Helen refused to let one bad man define the rest of her life. She started small, joined a walking group, tended to her garden, called her daughter more. Not to fill a void, but to remind herself she had always been strong. Later, she met Thomas, a kind man who was also healing. But this time, she didn't rush. She waited 6 months. She didn't share finances. She listened to her family's advice. And eventually, she learned to trust again. Not just Thomas, but herself. Have you ever loved the wrong person? Lost faith in your own judgment? Comment healing. If you're working your way back from heartbreak, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting again with experience and a wiser heart that now knows exactly what you deserve. 6. Build a full life first. Then let love in. You don't need someone else to feel whole. You need yourself first. Clara was 68, a widow, alone for years. The house was quiet, her grandkids were busy, and each morning she'd ask herself, "What am I living for?" But instead of jumping on a dating site, she made a different choice. She started looking inward. She took an art class for seniors, started walking with a neighbor, volunteered at the library. Bit by bit, small connections, laughing over paint, chatting about books, began to fill the empty space. Then she met Robert, a fellow volunteer. But this time, she wasn't looking for someone to fill her loneliness. She didn't need his attention, so their connection grew naturally. Are you living a life that truly brings you joy? If not, type "I'm starting" in the comments, because it's never too late. Remember, love shouldn't be a band-aid for emptiness. The best love happens when two whole people choose to walk side by side, not when one carries the other, and you deserve that kind of love. It begins the moment you choose to live fully for yourself. Final message: love after 60, with your heart and your wisdom. Love after 60 isn't scary. What's scary is entering it without any protection at all. You've weathered so much. You've sacrificed for your family. You've worked hard, loved deeply, and learned how to live alone, even when your heart quietly longed for someone's touch. So why wouldn't you deserve love? You deserve someone who says your name every morning, who waits for you at dinner, who listens to your stories without interrupting. But real love doesn't ask you to give up everything. It doesn't take the house you worked 30 years to pay off. It doesn't drain your retirement account. And it sure doesn't make you feel foolish for trusting the wrong person. If this video touched something inside you, comment, "I understand." And if someone you know needs to hear this, share it with them. You are not weak for wanting love. You just need to remember, love after 60 is still beautiful. But it must be wise. Love with compassion. But love with the wisdom of someone who's been through enough to know the right love lifts you up. The wrong one will drag you down. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep protecting our hearts together. See you in the next video.